Welcome back, everybody. This is Sifu David Akrish with Black Dragon Modern Combat. Thank you to all my wonderful, kind, and generous subscribers and likers and all that. I was going to do my next video on the 20 key principles of the Mook Jong, and I thought, well, I've been writing down probably a year's worth of information that I'm going to be putting out, of course, into video form, and I thought I would go over that. And then I wanted to ask if anything sounds interesting to anyone, and if it does, I'm more than happy to, I'm looking at my list, to push things up to the front, and if you want to hear something like ahead of time. But I am going to get through the 20 key points. I'm working through them, and I'm going to keep maybe every 3 days trying to find a good rhythm and timing of when to get it out and not overwhelm anybody. But so far so good. And I am going to do the number 6 today, which is on grappling on the Mook Jong, of course. But let me read my list here and let you know what's coming up. I guess a year. I'm just kind of trying to guess, predict, whatever. But I've been working on an incredible amount of, it's just really starting this channel and then just letting myself go. And that actually is what the school is all about. It's kind of combat with no borders. So I just, after so many years, what are you going to do? Keep doing the same thing? I am doing the same thing, and I'm not. I'm expressing myself and letting things go further, just where they want to go. And I've come up with so much that it's kind of crazy, but I am listing it, and I'm going to try to hit everything. Maybe it's 2 years worth here. But and I want to talk about a show that I watched last night with my wife, and I thought it was super cool and kind of blew my mind because it's kind of everything that I'm doing with Black Dragon Modern Combat. So it's kind of weird. So we'll talk about that after. But I'm different. The channel's different. I want to do something much, much different than all the average stuff, asking the same goofy questions, all that. I'm not trying to really do anything other than be myself and put things out there and let this grow wherever it wants to go. I actually do care about people, and I really believe in what I call civilian close quarter combat and rapid conflict resolution training. And so that's what my school is all about. And it's a bit different, but I do follow some lines. And so it's one of the subjects I'm going to actually do at some point. So I thought I'd better talk about that a little bit, so in case anybody's interested. I do have a website, so you can go there and read about it too. But I've actually just changed the curriculum. And I have what I call street combat, and then I have night combat. So that's interesting unto itself. Anyways, and I'll kind of tie that in with the show that I watched last night. And I didn't know it was 4 seasons. It's always hard to find something good to watch, and time's valuable to all of us. And I appreciate you spending time just watching my videos. It's kind of weird because you're opening yourself up to the world, and but I'm actually enjoying it. So, and the comments have been either pretty cool and super cool, and some goofy ones, and I went, actually, I did decide whatever, and I decided this at the very beginning, and then I think anybody who starts a channel and gets just the ugliness, you go, I'm not going to do that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to keep it going. I'm not going to, I was a hypocrite, and now I'm not going to be the hypocrite anymore, and I don't care what, you could call me anything, it doesn't matter, but it's just kind of worthless, it's stupid, and if it's trolling, or you're just trying to, get my goat, you're never going to. You're just not, I can tell you that right now. But what I do want to do is help people, and I want people to send me videos of themselves. I want them to let me know if they're using any of my information, and that's what it's about. I did say that I wasn't really going to give lessons, but I did decide on doing a series, which I guess are lessons, on anybody who's interested in a couple things, but one is the collie sticks. So stick training, and I'm going to do some combinations. And there's some great stuff out there. There's some stuff that's kind of boring. It's like the same old stuff over and over. And maybe this might, be sort of that, but I'm still gonna do it. And so it's not gonna be super complex, but then I am gonna increase in increments the complexity of some of the combinations. And so I do want to do that. So I'm going to. But let me read this. So I've been working a lot on tiger style kung fu, I guess you'd call it, in combinations. And and again, I use all my equipment, and but I just been really applying it on the Mook Jong. And the tiger has so many attributes that it's pretty incredible. So I mean, all the different animals are, and they all bring something, but the tiger's pretty powerful, and so it really lends itself to pretty hardcore Mook Jong training. And so that's something I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do 2 parts. It's solidified in my mind that I'm going to do 2 parts of maybe 3 combinations, a combination of 3 techniques. It's just the word you have to use. So techniques that come together. So I'm going to do that. And I've been working on the white crane style, which a lot of people don't know was Ning Moi, who was the nun priestess who developed a style. I don't even know what she even called it. That'd be really interesting, to her student who was Wing Chun, and then then we know the story. Everybody knows. So or they don't know, but so a lot of it came from the white crane. So which is very interesting. Kind of the opposite idea. So it's a very interesting concept of. Well, I don't want to say it's the opposite idea, because everyone tries to pigeonhole, and I even did it there for a second, pigeonhole what something is, but you don't really know what it is. Is it? You just don't know that everything has it's more open than we think it is, and so like the crane isn't just wide open movements and long movements. A lot of people think Charlie Futt's that, and it's just not true. It's just not true. And so, or Wing Chun is just short little move. No, it's not true at all. So that's why I'm here, because I'm gonna kind of fight for the freedom of the systems to free themselves. Okay. Anyways, then I'm going to do a series on Charlie Futt and taking parts of the forms. People call it in Japanese kata, or the frame, but I call them forms or sets. So there's a lot of names for it. But what is that? If you're new and you're beginning, what is he talking about? It's when you're linking techniques together to create, like I call it like kind of a choreographed combat. And actually, what's cool about Charlie Futt is there's a lot of 2-person and even 3-person weapon. It's such a huge system. It's pretty phenomenal. And so where there's set movements. And some of them go back where, well, anyways, they're interactions that are sort of, it happened a long time ago. Not a whole long time, but a bit ago. And so that's how they were doing things. But you can still take from, like the Tiger Leopard set is incredible. And so you can take from it what you need to take from it and keep an open mind and evolve from it too. So anyways, Charlie Futt, so there's a lot, a lot of forms. I mean, I spent just a long time. I've learned a lot. And they're really long forms, and they're super cool. And so I was going to take pieces of different ones and show application out of them, because it's kind of a little bit of my pet peeve, because there's not a lot of combat. What I said, turning forms into combat reality. So that was my kind of a topic, at least the one I wrote down. So anyways, that's that. I already said, start a series on Filipino stick for beginner. I'm calling it a beginner crash course, which will go into even take it in increments to something a little more advanced. And so we'll get into that later. That's down the line. And this is an interesting one. Vertical punch. Okay, the vertical punch. 5 ideas. So people say, you do it this way, you do it that way. I'm like, you know what? Do them all the ways. So I'm going to show 5 different ideas of the vertical punch. And I'll probably do it on that right there. And so, which is a great another one of my subjects here that I'm going to do. But anyways, then I have leopard kung fu, so that's another one, just like the tiger, but it's a bit different, and my take on it. I have a lot of story time, so if I'll put story time at the beginning, so you go, I don't want to hear his stories, and you don't have to look at it, or you're like, okay, let's see, I need to hear a story, so get out the popcorn and warm milk, and then they're not all fun stories. Some they're just stories. They're just interesting. And then I've been really talking about this one. It's supposed to be the first one. I haven't even, and I'm going to get to it, but I'm calling it Martial or Just Art. Is it martial or just art? And that's about, it's kind of, says it right there, but it's a list of it's really, again, what this is about, to open up what are you doing? What is your goal? Why are you doing it? So it has I have all these different questions. What's your school doing? And it's kind of a self-questioning type video to contemplation, inner contemplation. And then I have one called Stop Predicting. Ooh, that'll be a good one. A little controversial there. And then lethal and non-lethal weapons. What's that going to be about? Only I know. And then I said maybe a take on Chi Sao. So what a big, that'll be like a can of worms. But maybe, and I've been doing it for 45 years, so I have my opinion. And so that may happen. Probably will, but and then I'll get people, anyways. And then let's see. Okay, so next one, 4 parts to complete training. Then I call it closing the gap. I'm sorry, 4 parts to, I should say, a complete training method or system. And so, and that kind of ties in, really, is it martial or just art? So, and then there's this thing I'm calling the gap between this and that. Honestly, Chi Sao would be one of the pieces, but is it enough to complete the full gap? So a lot of people are talking about this stuff right now. So it's a very interesting time. And again, I've been out of the loop on purpose because my life has been somewhere else, and with my business and our business, my wife and I, and my training, and it's like I just didn't want to do this, but now I am, and I'm actually enjoying it. So thanks to my wife, my beautiful wife. She's going to help me too. So she's starting to decide to get involved a little bit. So she said she would help me, and because you always you want to demonstrate. And anyways, and then necessary circuit training equipment. So again, that goes back to is it martial or just art, and my 4 parts to complete training, closing the gap. And then this is interesting, and maybe some people will like this, but because what I really do, and I've been doing it for a very long time, as long as the martial art stuff, I used the martial art word, Chinese herbal formulas I wrote for the martial artists. So I was going to do maybe a series on just this, on internal health, external health, the formulas, Chinese medicine. It might blow your mind, or you maybe already know about it, maybe have questions about it, maybe have questions about your own health. You want to increase your training. And so, or injuries, or get rid of injuries, I'd like to hear back. If somebody has a question, I'll go there. We're even, with our other business, we're having an open Zoom webinar, so people can come and just ask anything they want. And you charge, let's just say, people charge a lot of money to go see a naturopath or even a Chinese herbalist now, a lot. And we're not charging. So I'm not charging for this. So you can ask me. And you can always do the Ko-fi thing, $3. That wouldn't be bad. I would take it. Anyways, then another one is blending combat systems. So that's the evolution. And, do this. Oh, you should only go box. It's like, all right, stop. How about we combine things and see, have a well-balanced, or understand more of what you're doing, and making that a little more depth to it. So anyways, that was a physical one. So I'm actually just show, if you've never done, a lot of this really to me is for the beginner who's like, who just says, where do I start? What do I do? What's the best? What's advanced? How can I get the best out of my time? So that's what a lot of this is, what it's about. I'm gonna do a lot of weapons reviews and training weapons, and I love cold steel, so I'm gonna tell you what I think about different. I have a lot, and so that was something. Then this is an interesting one. May open a can of worms, and again, I don't care. Secrets of Selim Dao, which is the first Wing Chun form. And there's so many little ideas. It's called the little idea. So little ideas within the little ideas that I'm going to give my take on. And you like it, you hate it, you learn something. And there's a lot of people I seem to, and it's just, I don't think they're doing it right. And in the sense of, well, that's kind of a negative way to say it. But let's just say there's more to meets the eye, that meets the eye. And then there's things I think are kind of lazy and not doing it correct. I'm not saying it's on purpose, maybe it is, but that you can get a lot more out of it. So I'm trying to turn my thought here into more of a positive way to, and that's what it's supposed to be. But the world, sometimes you see something and it's not, you go, that isn't being done well or correct. What, are you going to lie and be dishonest? No. So that's, because of course it's just my opinion. And then I talked about what do I do? What is the school about? And so that would be somewhere in there. I'll throw it in there. But anyways, those are the ideas, or the topics, subjects. So if something sounds cool and you want me to get to it, I'll do it, because you want me to. So it might be important to you, or you want to see it, or whatever it is. Maybe this. I don't know, what's one? 4 parts to complete training and closing the gap. That's a pretty potent one. So, I don't know. Anyways, that's about it on this. And then I'm going to start doing a little training, and then I'm going to come back. It is getting dark, but, I keep doing these in the dark, and there's a bit of light here. But I'm going to go over number 6 key principle of the Mook Jong, which is grappling. And then as applied to the Mook Jong. And then number 7 and number 8 is about timing or rhythms. And one is even rhythm, and then the second one is odd rhythm or broken rhythm. And so it's just different ways to train, and just to think about it. And maybe you already do it, maybe you don't. So maybe you already think about it, I don't know. But I'm going to put it out there. So maybe out of all these 20, you're going, you know what, 3 of those I never really thought about. Someone who's already training, maybe someone who hasn't trained, you're like, all of those, each one is sparking some type of different idea or something in my head, and kind of an awakening. And so that's what it's about. Anyways, I will be back. Have a nice evening, and take care.